Uh, let's see. Morning. It's morning again. Happens, right? Cheers. Here's the deal. I want to talk a little bit about interaction in New York on the street because that's what the thing about New York that means the most to me is the street. All that other stuff is like, I'm not really a part of. It doesn't matter. It's the street. When I walk to the studio to work, or I walk home, or I walk to a park, or I walk up the avenue, or wherever I go, New York City is streets. And they're numbered. They have names. It's like amazing. And what goes on in the street is just New York. But, with time, people's behavior on the street's changing. They're not as considerate. They're more into themselves. They're all on their iPhones. They're not as considerate. And they don't deal with each other with as much, not only respect, but there's a certain caring that New Yorkers have for each other. There's like 8 million modestly evolved primates on this island, and then 2 million come into work. So there's like 10 million primates wandering around a very small island. And we got along, but there was also a kind of like, I really dig you because I'm happy to see you this morning because the same kind of people are on your trip. Okay, so here's what happened. And it relates to it in a weird way. Many years ago, the woman that I live with, as you know, 33 years, 32, going to be 33 because, like a day and another day, it's like a year and another year. She started doing printmaking and we bought a press and God, she was doing some stuff. And we were watching, she started working with wood blocks to engrave and then press. And we were watching a movie, and somebody in the movie, and we can't remember the movie or the actress or whoever it was, said block of wood. And they said it in English, like not American English. They said it in English, block of wood. And we looked at each other and went, block of wood. And it stuck. So for the next, 20 years, we both keep saying block of wood to each other. I'll be in the shower and she'll be making breakfast and I'll say, block of wood, and she'll go, block of wood. Oh, that's simple, right? But what happened was, with the inconsideration and increased aggressivity of the street, instead of getting angry at somebody because they just walked into me or in front of me or around or whatever they did that they shouldn't have done, I will say to them, block of wood. And that does not provoke a fight. What it provokes is, what? And I'm like, block of wood. What is that? I said, I don't know. I can't tell yet. And it's over. And then I keep walking and to myself laughing, because if I start laughing out loud, there's going to be a fight. So like I'm walking up 5th Avenue and 21st Street and a man's walking diagonally across the street and he walks right into me. And I stepped to one side and in a very regal way, I said, after you. And he said, well, you could have walked right around me. I said, excuse me. No, I couldn't. You were walking diagonally. I had no idea you were going to block of wood. And he went, what? And I said, block of wood. And I left. So one more, just because there's so many of these. Well, there's one that, I don't know if I'll include it. I was crossing the crosswalk at 6th Avenue and 23rd Street, very busy intersection. And now you're not allowed to make a left or right turn onto 6th Avenue from 23rd because people were getting run over. And they finally actually put a sign up. You can't turn left or right you got to go down another avenue. Okay. I'm walking across in the crosswalk with the light, and a man behind me says, you're veering. And I turned around and I looked at him. I said, I'm what? He said, you're veering. I said, veering like, you mean like a car? He said, yeah, like a car. I said, well, I'm not a car. And he said, well, you're a fucking idiot. And I said, well, yeah, I know that, but I'm not a car. And he looked at me and I said, look, first of all, I don't have a rear view mirror. And I wasn't veering. I was going to the right because I want to go south to the other side of the street. And he looked like he was going to get ready to hit me. And I said, block of wood. And he went, what? And I said, block of wood. He said, what's that? I said, I don't know. I can't tell yet. And it was over. So that these aren't supposed to go very long. And every story is connected to so many other stories that you could just talk all day and night, which I do. And a lot of people, you know, they don't particularly like that. But I'm going to tell one anyway. Same intersection I'm crossing, and a small black Porsche comes roaring around the corner, making an illegal right turn, and nearly hit me. And I had to hit the hood of his car with the palm of my hand hard to keep myself able to bounce back without either falling onto the car or onto the road. And he stopped his car and opened the door and started to get out. And something in me went back to my martial arts training from the 60s up until the early 70s. And I said to him, if you get out of that car, it's going to be your last day on earth. And he got back in the car. That's it.